What's good, guys? Today's video is going to be tips and tricks on how you can improve your gunplay to increase your KD and become more confident when getting into a gunfight. No matter what type of playstyle you have, these tips and tricks will benefit you, especially with enough practice. First off, we're going to start off with how you shoot your weapon when you and your opponent are in close proximity of each other. Say you and your opponent are right around the wall from one another. I recommend to observe their movement. If it seems like they won't push, then surprise them with an attack and spray them down. Do not aim when you do this. You make yourself a slow moving target when you aim, which makes your opponent come away with an easy kill. Always be ready for them to attack though. If they bum rush you and you're not ready for that attack, you may end up dead. So remember, any close-up fights, just use that spray and pray technique, and do your best to leave that gun barrel pointed towards your opponent's torso. The best way to make sure you're doing this correctly is to have your gun on automatic and continue strafing left and right while shooting down your opponent. Strafing will make you a harder target to hit. Now say your opponent is just out of range for a spray and pray, and too far to aim down your sights. Try to use the soft aim feature to mow down your target. This way you have better visual of where your opponent is while you're shooting, and you don't have to be super accurate for your bullets to hit. As long as your aimer is in the area around your opponent, you can land some nice and lucky shots. This is best used around corners and with you behind cover. I do not like to strafe when using this feature because it makes your gun much less accurate and cause your shots to go all over the place. So do your best to always be behind cover, or know for sure you'll be able to take out your opponent. I've noticed the soft aim feature is used way too often in gunfights that are too distant to be using it in the first place. The farther the opponent is, the harder it is for your bullets to land with that soft aim feature. Keep that in mind when doing this. Aiming down your sights is my favorite thing to do, and I do this way too often in certain situations that I shouldn't. Players that are farther than 15 feet away are the ones you should aim down your sights towards, because they are just a bit out of range for soft aiming. I like to strafe and shoot while I aim down sights. A lot of people say you shouldn't strafe while shooting and aiming down your sights because your gun becomes very inaccurate, which is true, but if you stand still you become such an easy target. If you can learn to control that inaccuracy when strafing, then do it, because you are a much harder target to hit when moving. Everyone knows how hard it is to hit a moving target in PUBG. A time ADSing is very key in close proximity is when someone is camping in a corner of the building. You want to ADS quick right towards them and take them out, because they'll most likely stand still and try to shoot at you. Peeking and leaning are always a must in this game, whether you are in the open or you're behind cover. It can throw your opponent off guard just enough when fighting them in the open. When you're behind cover, it'll leave your body less vulnerable. Make sure you are never peeking the same side too often or in a pattern. This way you can keep your opponent on their tippy toes. Work it from different angles and make sure you don't peek and freeze, unless you're going to take a sniper shot. When peeking in one direction, either strafe left and right, or peek left and right and scan the area. Even add in a little crouch and peek so your head isn't in the same position each time. Make it hard on your opponent. Always keep them guessing. If your opponent is peeking you and just sits there, and you see him sitting there peeking you, then line up your shot from behind your cover, peek them, and take your shot. You know where they are already, so you should be able to get a jump on them before they take shots on you. If you are about to take shots at an opponent that has no idea you're around, then I recommend it to crouch before you start shooting. This will help you control recoil easier to land the kill. Crouching can be key in many gunfights, but do not crouch if you're being shot at. Once you crouch, you become a much easier target to hit. Though sometimes when I'm burst firing towards an opponent, I like to sort of do a bob and weave thing by hitting the crouch button, taking a couple shots, hitting the crouch button again to stand up, take some more shots. But I only do this when the opponent is at far distance. Always remember to wait for the perfect shot as well if your opponent hasn't spotted you. The last thing you want is for your opponent to have enough time to get behind cover and heal up if you've tagged them a few times. Keep in mind to use every resource available to you. Grenades can be your best friend after you tagged up an opponent and they get behind cover to heal up. Pull those grenades and toss them towards your opponent. Even using a smoke as sort of a diversion to make them run out of their position can be a key factor in gunfight. Well guys, that's it for today's video. If any of these tips and tricks seem helpful, please hit that like button. I'm shooting for 25 likes. Help me reach that goal. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell to turn on notifications for when I post a video. Until next time, y'all. Peace.
I don't know where he is. God! He's in front. He's in front. 100, 100. Does he have MK2?
I think he's up top.
No, right below, right below. Let's go, baby.
Bang!